Clark and her parents were staying at the same resort as us. The hosted seated us right next to her at breakfast one morning. I told her we live in Kansas City, and naturally we talked about the Chiefs. LOL. She was nice. My hubby got a pic with her. Wow, bruh.
Caitlin Clark has been living her life while the league is obsessed with contract negotiations and off-season drama. A chance encounter at a Bahamas resort recently offered us with the most authentic view of her this season. Just a fan, a breakfast table, and the popular internet cameras or managers.
Freaking cool, man. The Caitlin Clark, for all this notion that Caitlin Clark don't like fans or have an issue with black people, it's all cap, bruh. I can't even stunt. Caitlin Clark got a lot of black fans. She definitely got a lot.
Kristen Palmer, a content creator, wrote about going to the same resort as Clark and her parents. At breakfast, the hosts arranged them next to one another. Here's what makes this interaction so interesting. Palmer is from Kansas City, so it was only natural for them to talk about the Chiefs. Not basketball or the WNBA, but football, because that's what real people do when they get together for breakfast on vacation. They talk about whatever is going on in their life. What is actually telling, however, is a photograph Palmer's husband took of Clark. Clark's relaxed posture, genuine smile, and body language. This is not media training. When there is no motivation, this person enjoys communicating with people.
Kind of pissed off a lot of Angel Reese fans. We just got to be honest. People poured in their love and they support for Caitlin Clark, early on. And there was a large debate that, black people wasn't black enough. Even from me, I received a lot of hate from it. That black people was not black enough because they didn't show love.
Things begin to become interesting at this stage. The idea that Clark has troubles with specific groups has been circulating on social media for some time. Black fans find it distant. Certain situations make her uncomfortable. Furthermore, incidents like our meeting in the Bahamas absolutely undermine that story. Palmer is a black content creator. Clark did more than simply endure the conversation. She let Palmer's spouse take a photo while talking about the Chiefs in Kansas City. Her parents were also present, and they were just as nice and personable. This is a polar opposite of someone who chooses which of her admirers warrants her attention.
Angel Reese, whenever she won the national championship, they didn't show love to her and all these different things. But end of the day, people fell in love with Caitlin Clark over her logo threes, the way she carried herself in pictures like this. I don't see very many pictures of Angel Reese with her fans. Now, I'm not one to pick on Angel Reese. I haven't talked about her in a mighty long time. But, that was a growing notion that you weren't black enough if you didn't support Angel Reese.
Let's talk about what truly happened during Clark's rookie season, because the criticism she received was unrelated to what she had done. It had to do with who was standing next to her. When Clark entered the WNBA scene, she drew millions of new followers, many of whom were black. Her logo trees stole their hearts. Her intense competitiveness and demeanor on the court. Tension arose as a result of this support, with some believing that black fans should support Angel Reese instead. That if you supported Clark, you were somehow not black enough. During the 2024 season, this became a genuine issue of discussion in the WNBA.
Like I stated, this was just so cool that Caitlin Clark decided to do this, and I'm just happy about it, man. I'm just happy about it. Now we got a smidget of an update on CBA negotiations. So this is an article that came out early this morning. It says Breanna Stewart on endless CBA talks, just starting to see end of the tunnel. So Breanna Stewart is pretty much saying that we could be getting close to a deal on this CBA negotiation, man, and I'm going to be so happy when we do.
Let's talk about what truly happened during Clark's rookie season, because the criticism she received was unrelated to what she had done. It had to do with who was standing next to her. When Clark entered the WNBA scene, she drew millions of new followers, many of whom were black. Her logo trees stole their hearts. Her intense competitiveness and demeanor on the court. Tension arose as a result of this support, with some believing that black fans should support Angel Reese instead, that if you supported Clark, you were somehow not black enough. During the 2024 season, this became a genuine issue of discussion in the WNBA.
The vice president in the WNBA Players Union, which has been pushing for a bigger share of revenue. Stewart told reporters earlier this month that while the WNBA players have the ability to strike in our back pocket, no strike was present. In a recent interview with Front Office Sports, Stewart told her wife that my brain is hurting from the range and the complicity of the talks. Unfortunately, I wasn't an economic major or any.
Consider the absurdity of this framework. According to demographics, supporters are not obligated to be loyal. They support athletes whose personality they admire, whose games they enjoy watching, and who they can relate to. Clark built a devoted following thanks to her exceptional basketball abilities and authentic self-presentation. In reasons unconnected to either player's actual behavior, the Reese versus Clark issue became racially heated. Black supporters were pleased after Rhea and LSU won the national championship in April 2023. But when Clark's fame skyrocketed during her senior year at Iowa, the conversation abruptly switched. Why are you not supporting Rhea? Why are you so invested in Clark? What does your preference reveal about your identity? That's a grueling way to watch sports, and it's entirely distant from how fans actually behave.
Deal possible, and we want to negotiate in good faith that the league we're hoping for some positive kind of change or reinforcement here. Now, these are some of the proposals that has been presented. Now, in December, the WNBA proposed a structure that offers players 70% of league revenue sharing with the salary cap of around $5 million. Later that month, the union sent the league a new CBA proposal that asks for 30% of its gross revenue and a salary.
Clark's approach is different. She's living her life, and fans occasionally get to be a part of it. It's authentic in a manner that's becoming increasingly unusual in professional sports, which is why a fan base is so devoted. They don't feel marketed to. They believe they are watching someone who actually enjoys the game and values the people who support her. Now, let's talk about what's going on in the league. Because while Clark was on vacation, the WNBA and the Players Union were engaged in the most significant discussions in league history. According to Brianna Stewart, we may finally be nearing a resolution.